I'm going to travel the world with my dad as we race each other in the Pentagon Challenge. Historically, this is one of the toughest challenges to take on Football Manager, as you try to win the 5 Continental Champions League trophies in Africa, Asia, North and South America, as well as Europe, of course. But with this being the first ever versus Pentagon Challenge, we are doing this as a best of 5 scenario. Starting off in Africa, we will race against each other to win that trophy, but once one of us does, we both then move on to the same next continent, and the first to win 3 out of the 5 wins the Pentagon Challenge. With this being Dad's first ever Pentagon though, we have to give him an extra advantage, which means I have a rule that I am not allowed to win a trophy with a team that has already won the Champions League in that continent. However, Dad is allowed to manage whoever he wishes. Of course, we are setting things up with both of our managers currently starting off the game unemployed, with just a Continental Pro license under our belts to get things underway as we search for jobs in Africa. With the African Champions League being dominated by Al Ali, who's won it 12 times, that's the golden job that Dad wants to find. But the Egyptian teams in general is the best option for both of us. The only other playable league is South Africa, who have a lot less success in the African Champions League, with Sundowns being the best option from there. Straight from the off, however, there are jobs available that are willing to interview Dad in both countries. And he was buzzing even after Kaiser Chiefs wanted an interview to take the job at Haras Al Hadoud in Egypt. Although they are a newly promoted team in the top flight, they are predicted to finish mid-table. And he set himself up in a 4-2-3-1 tactic in possession, dropping into a 4-4-2 out of possession. And he picked up some free transfers to add to his side, including a couple of Egyptian players, with the foreigner registration rule being a maximum of 5 limit. Dad's start to the season went just slightly better than what the season preview predicted, as they found themselves flirting with the top 5 spots. Although teams like Al Ali have played less than half the games that Dad's side has played so far. And it wasn't until Dad's next result, which was a 5-0 win against El Gouna, where I eventually come into play, because that result was enough for the club to sack their manager, and that's the job that I decided to apply for while Dad was jumping up into 5th place. Eventually getting myself an interview and being hired in my first managerial job of the Pentagon Challenge. And I was safe to take charge at this club too, because they have never won the African Champions League before. Their current best player was a 37-year-old striker, which meant I had my work cut out, and I set them up with 3 attacking midfielders in behind him, who would then drop out wide when we lose the ball. In the middle though was an up-and-coming 18-year-old attacking midfielder, which is exactly who I wanted to play in that spot. It took us a few games to warm up, but we eventually got some good results, including beating Al Ali 4-3 away from home with 10 men for over an hour. We found ourselves safe from relegation, and Dad was even in the top half when the league split for the final 6 games. However, things were not going well for him. Either way, it's the first step. And he finished in 7th place in the end in the Egyptian Premier League, some way off that qualification for the African Champions League though, while I was down in 12th place and Pyramids took the title. No danger for Al Ali's manager being sacked though, as they won yet another African Champions League trophy. Right, Dad, Pentagon Challenge at the end of the first season.
Yes.
We finally got ourselves our clubs. Now, although I finished in 3rd place, it's not the full league. This is like the bottom half. Of course, there's kind of like a split in between the 2 leagues where you actually finish bottom of that top league, only getting 1 point in those final 6 games.
Oh, I don't know.
But we don't have to worry about that yet. Obviously, the big aim is to win that African Champions League. It's the race to get to that, because once one of us wins it, it's off the table. This is a best out of 5 situation. And of course, the Champions League in Africa has mainly been dominated by the club that we're looking at right now, Al Ali, but also Pyramids as well. So it's very much Egyptian-based. You can see Wydad Casablanca of Morocco, I believe, has won that. But we only have Egypt and South Africa loaded. Now, South Africa, Sundowns, is the best team there. They've managed to get there. And you have the option to become these managers.
You did, yeah.
I don't have the option. The little caveat that we're doing of this Pentagon Challenge is I can't win one of these Champions Leagues with a club that has already won the competition when I get to that point. So that's the advantage that we've given you, which means if Al Ali ever come up as a job,
You can't take it.
You can. I can.
Yeah.
So we've got our clubs anyway. You set yourself up in the classic 4-2-3-1. The first season, you've been given a bit of money as well to go into season number 2.
Yeah.
But it's all about that qualification for that. And we don't quite know the ins and outs of how to qualify for the African Champions League. We're guessing it's down to where you finish in the league table, but as you can see here, it isn't giving it away there.
No.
We're just trying to win as many different games as what we possibly can. Maybe even win the League Cup. That there's another option.
Well,
hopefully
we
find
just got to go for it.
in
I mean, winning the league is the most thing that you got to go for. We know that'll get us there. So
yes,
that's the goal at the moment.
Yeah. The only big trouble is really Pyramids and Al Ahly. They're two very good teams because the standard of teams that we have got in comparison is nowhere near as good. You do have a better team than me, and you've got a good player who is scoring goals, 29 goals already. He's 34,
he's done well.
Though.
He's done well. That's my only worry, that he's at 34. So yeah, I'm going to be looking for a striker, obviously. But at the moment, he's still all right.
Yeah. Now the rules of the Egyptian League is you can have 5 foreign, non-Egyptian players registered, and you can have a couple of more who are under 22, but you can only have 5 in total in that squad 11. The African Champions League, though, no rules whatsoever. You could play a full European squad if you wanted to, and you could do that in the African Champions League. So we've got big summers ahead because you've got £4 million to spend, and in the team which I kind of salvaged from in that bottom half and went on, let's face it, a very good run, to be honest. Unbeaten in the back end of the season, although I'd only played teams around me. I've been given £4 million as well. So my team ain't quite as good. I set up in this sort of like 4-2-3-1 with a narrow sort of formation. You can see here in possession we are narrow, but out of possession we drop into that 4-4-1-1. But yeah, we've done quite well in season number 1. I got 24 goals from my veteran striker. He's 37. He's even older, but he's got 23 goals in 27 games. So on to pre-season then. We're going to try and spend a lot of money and work out whether we sort of fit the bill in terms of challenging for that league title in Egypt in season 2. Both Dad and I spent well during the pre-season, as I spent £1 million on a fantastic 18-year-old centre-back, while Dad's big signing was a 29-year-old striker who's also Egyptian for £1.3 million. He improved his side drastically with free transfers too, bringing in 3 South American talents to fill his 5 foreign player quota, and switched things up, going for a 2 up front with his new guy lining up next to Gamal, his previous top scorer. I had similar ideas as Dad, with cheaper players coming in that weren't Egyptian, but mine were heavily based on African players instead, as well as a new goalkeeper. Zaid cost me just 100k and instantly improves the quality of my team, and he's Egyptian, as you can actually register foreign goalkeepers in the Egyptian League. Our task was simple though. For Season 2, we wanted Champions League qualification, because getting that first one in the race to the Pentagon Challenge would be a huge advantage as we go to the next continent. Dad and I played each other in the opening game of the season, and it was, as always, a back-and-forth contest with goals flying in at both ends, with the winner in this 4-3 result coming from Dad's side, the home team, in the 87th minute. I was still positive about my side though, knowing that we have to come from a far lower position in the table than what Dad's side began, and I was happy as the season progressed and we started beating big teams like Zamalek. And after 14 games, although Al Ahly are still top, Dad and I are doing well in 3rd and 5th place and still in the title picture. The next time Dad and I faced each other though, it was in the league split, as the top 7 then played against each other, and this time I came out on top. This season eventually finished with us sat in 4th and 5th place, which we don't think will have us qualifying for the African Champions League next year. And that's because only Al Masry as well as Pyramids qualified alongside the champions of the competition and 2nd place Al Ahly in the preliminary rounds this season. And the final of the Champions League itself was between Sundowns and ES Tunis this year of Tunisia, won by the South African side on penalties. Right, Dad, at the end of season 2, we are a lot closer to where we want to be, especially me jumping up to roughly where you were, 53 points, 54 points. We're only 1 point between us and only 1 point away from Zamalek.
Yeah. I mean, the top 2 ran away with it again.
Yeah.
They joint top, so
67 points each.
Goal average, so yeah. So I'm pleased with that.
Yeah, it's progress.
2nd season, we're close.
Yeah, we're close. I don't think this is qualification yet. I know they're sort of like preliminary rounds of the African Champions League, and Al Ahly didn't win it. Sundowns won it, which is quite historic actually.
Yeah.
Because that, I believe, is the first time a club that isn't from, well, a club that is South African has won it since 2016, which they won it themselves. So it's been very much dominated by the Egyptian sides for the last 4 years there. Sundowns have got over the line. They beat Tunis in the final of Tunisia. So it is possible to get a side from South Africa. But I'm sort of happy in where I am right now because the money is better than in South Africa. The players are better, and I can't go to Sundowns.
No.
So you would have the ability to go there.
Oh,
but
I'm just disappointed they didn't sack their manager for not winning.
I know, yeah.
That'd have been right up my street, that would have.
Yeah, he was on the ropes.
Yes.
And you did declare interest.
Yeah.
But Jess Thorup is still there. Now, he has got continental reputation, which is massive. We have slowly been building our reputation. I mean, mine's up to a regional now, which is better than what it was obviously when we started, and I think yours is exactly the same. So if we're looking at your career in terms of that, you're regional as well. So we're both like progressing, we're both doing well in terms of our reputation, but we're just nowhere near Jesse Thorup. Now we have already started spending our money, and Dad, you spent really well.
Yes.
And I think we should have a look at this player especially, Gonzalo Reynoso. 64k.
Yeah. Only 18 as well.
18 years of age. Argentinian centre defence.
And he's this good already?
Yeah.
I mean, 3.5-star currently ability with a potential of getting close to 5-star. I mean, well, not 64k. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What a bargain that is. So, get him in straight away.
In terms of what we're going to be like next season, those players like that you need to pick up will really help. But also, you've got another South American striker, Agustin Rodriguez, who's had quite a good career, to be fair. You might recognise him. He's played, I think he was a wonder kid not so long ago. So, yeah, I mean, now playing in Egypt for Haras Al Hadoud, and could be really good for you next year too.
I mean, I'm looking at his 29. I'm not worried about it. You got a striker that's 37 and he's still doing really well. So I'm not worried about that. That's good.
Yeah, exactly.
So good signing that. I'm
a couple of other good players that you spent in terms of bringing in Egyptian players. Make sure you're not going over. I mean, you got this guy here that you spent quite a lot, but we've been given the money to do so.
Yeah.
And you've still got £2.45 million to spend.
It's quite a lot of players who are out of contract as well.
Yeah.
That you can pick up that are quite good.
Yeah.
So you don't need to spend the money. You just got to look at your wages and just sort of transfer it across into your wages. So
that's right.
That's one good thing about this league at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, I've started spending as well. I was given a little bit of money and I've got 1.14 there. And if we're looking at the players that I've decided to start bringing in, I've been looking at my defence. So we've got Omar Adel, who is quite a young centre-back who I think might be quite good for me in terms of potential ability. I haven't really got that good defenders right now, so that's another player that I'm sort of looking at. But yeah, as you say, I mean, my striker, I've been relying on him to score goals. He is 38 years of age, still got 20 goals. I might need to start looking elsewhere and bring somebody else in, but he's got 17 league goals this season. We still haven't qualified, I don't think, for that African Champions League, but we are getting closer, and that's the main thing. The end of next season, I think, could be where one of us is either knocking on the door or even
on the door,
potentially qualifying for it if we play our cards right. My plan for Season 3 in the transfer window was to find the best up-and-coming Egyptian talents such as Omar Adel, who cost me just 250k, but still bringing in experienced players for the same price like Ahmed Said. The signing to hopefully make the biggest impact was Nigerian striker Otto John, who had great physical attributes that joined me on a free transfer. Dad, alongside his amazing South American pickups of Reynoso and Rodriguez, decided to spend the rest of his budget on the best Egyptian players too, to help get into the top 3 of the Egyptian league, including Farid, a fantastic young right back with great potential. And Dad's setup was once again a 2 up front and utilising a new strike force, Rodriguez, with Dad's newest signing, Velejkovsky. And this guy could be Dad's ticket to the African Champions League qualification. 500k for the man who's already scored 3 goals and got an assist in the first 2 league games. A switch up for me as I go from 2 up front as well, with 2 attacking midfielders dropping into a 4-4-2 out of possession. Unlike Dad, however, I started the season with 2 losses, so when Dad and I played each other early in the season, I was expected to get a hammering, and it seemed like the opposite. Despite us also having a red card after just 35 minutes and being the away team, we fought back and went on to win the game 3-1, and that kicked our season into gear. Although teams like Al Ahly had played a lot less games, we were top of the league with Dad in 3rd place. And despite the slight setbacks along the way, Dad's side continued to stay with both my team and Al Ahly, who caught up to the top of the league, and Velejkovsky continued to score goals. Dad's Macedonian hitman scored 32 goals in fact in 31 games, games for his side and 23 in the league alone with 1 to play. Speaking of the league, as we get into the nitty-gritty part of the season, Dad and I are both in the spots that we think we need for qualification. Not only that, but we're against each other in the Egypt Cup final too. A final in which Dad thrashed me with Velishkovsky scoring a hat-trick and his side lifting the trophy, winning 6-3 on the day. But I was happy because I still finished in second with Dad in third place in the Egyptian league. And I also beat Zamalek in a League Cup final too, 1-0 to lift the trophy. In the African Champions League though, it was back in the hands of Al Ahly for the 14th time. Well, I think we can definitely say that we have qualified for the African Champions League.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, we're praying we should have done. We've got there or thereabouts. We've won something as well.
Yeah, we've seen second and third place play in the competition.
Yeah.
We've also seen the cup winners play in the competition. We've won a cup each.
Yes.
And we finished second and third. I think at the very least, we'll be in like some sort of qualification
Gotta be, yeah.
for that African Champions League. But Al Ahly, I mean, I'm so shocked. I really did think the advantage that you have of being able to manage the clubs that have won the competition first, I thought that's going to come into play at some point. It just hasn't.
No.
As you can see, we're running a second name here, which is literally just going through the season to have a look, because when you're at a club, you don't tend to look at the managerial vacancies, but when you have somebody who is unemployed, it literally comes up and says unemployed, there's vacancies. So we're running a second account to sort of see these vacancies. They're just not coming up.
No.
Jesstorp is still the manager of Al Ahly, and they ain't going to sack him anytime soon because they won the Champions League again.
Yeah, they got a good double there. Yeah, so but I think we've done really well to get that close to them. What were you, 5 points behind them?
Yeah.
But we won the cups, so that stopped them from winning all of them this season.
Yes.
And where's the Pyramids? Where are they gone?
Yeah, the Pyramids dropped down into 7th place.
So I think it's a great season.
Yeah, and Zamalek.
Yeah. What we 3 seasons in now, so
yeah,
and we're this close already.
We've already overtook those clubs, so
yeah.
we'd now be silly to go back to them.
There's only one club I would go to now.
Yeah, is Al Ahly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes sense to kind of stay where we are and build upon that, because they're still backing us.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
They give us money, we've started spending it again, and we're already into sort of pre-season. I mean, I can show you already, I've made a big move for an Arsenal left wing back for £1 million, and he is Egyptian. From my left wing back.
Even better.
So yeah, he's going to be 21 years of age. He's going to be one of my star players. I'm excited.
He will be, yeah.
Fullbacks have been a struggle for me so far, but he's really good, and he ain't the only player that I'm spending money on. Medha, I'm bringing in from a club that's in Egypt, only 19 years of age. Again, Egyptian. These are the types of players that we need to bring in to obviously get better in domestically, so that we can qualify for it, and we're doing quite well in terms of that. And you've been exactly the same, Dad. You spent your budget already. We're looking into the next season. You spent £2.2 million on a very good right back.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of fullbacks, we've got 2 of the best now for Egypt. They both capped.
Yeah. I mean, his value already at 6.6 million. So he's probably one of the top players in my team at the moment.
Yeah.
So, but 27 Egyptian. So I'm happy with that. Good buy for me. I think that one is, and it helped me in a position where I felt I was a little bit weak.
Yes, fullbacks have definitely been a problem for us, but
yeah.
I think going into the next season, we're both using that sort of attacking mentality where you need fullbacks to be a part of it. You got the better of me in the cup final, though, Dad. 6-3.
Yes,
it's a big win for you. I mean, it was quite an entertaining game as well. I took the lead twice and still lost by 3 goals. That's mental. But there we go. But I did manage to get a win over Zamalek in the other cup, so. Again, not the end of the world. A 1-0 win there. Not too bad at all. We've got John who's scoring the goals. A nice little pick-up for him. Otto John got 29 goals. I needed to replace the striker. I did do that. But there we go. This is where we're going to leave the first episode of the Pentagon Challenge. We have qualified both, we believe, for the African Champions League. So make sure you subscribe so you do not miss our first attempt at going for the first trophy in the Pentagon Challenge.